I'm part of the picture team here with Biodata Catalyst. Or picture, for any of you who are not familiar with Picture, it's a data search and cohort building tool. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can save cohorts in Picture using a unique dataset ID. As part of the research journey, first of all, we want to access the data, right? And then the next steps are going to be exploring and understanding the data. Um, we might want to understand the phenotypes or clinical outcomes that are available in the data sets that we're looking at. We might want to identify inclusion and exclusion criteria, see how the data is organized, create different cohorts for analysis, such as cases and controls. And this is all part of the user journey that we kind of bring Picture into. So with Biodata Catalyst powered by Picture, you can search variables across different data sets, apply filters to create cohorts. So for example, filtering your data on a cohort that is made up of individuals who have had asthma or are within a certain age range. And you can explore and extract participant level data for analysis. And this final part is what I'm really going to be focusing on today. Previously, when you do create these cohorts in Picture, let's say you are looking at people who have had asthma in a certain study who are over the age of 18, it was up to you to manage these cohorts and keep track of them yourself. You're able to package the participant level data associated with this cohort, but then you need to keep a list of your dataset ID, download or export your cohort, or recreate your cohort every single time you want to resume your work. So this was a little bit of a stumbling block for people. But now saving cohorts is easy and manageable. So we have some new functionality in Picture here, where after you've created a cohort of interest, you have the option to save it as a dataset ID. And with this feature, you can name it something that is human readable and makes sense to you based on maybe the filters that you've applied or the study that you're looking at. You can refer to this cohort at your own convenience because it's saved under your Picture user profile. So you can come back to it at any time. And you can view the associated filters and variables that correspond with this data set in case you might have forgotten. So let me move on to the live demo portion, where here I am logged into Picture. I have done a search for asthma, specifically in the HCHSSOL study, which is focused on Hispanic community health study, study of Latinos. And I'm looking at all of the asthma variables because let's say that I'm interested in participants who have been diagnosed with asthma and that are female. So I have selected those filters, built a cohort of 1,414 female participants with asthma. Now, if I want to save this cohort for future analysis, I can select and package data, package the data, and save the dataset ID. So previously, users would have to only remember this string of letters and numbers and somehow try to remember, okay, this corresponds with my HCHSSOL female asthma cohort. But now I can name it. So I'll say, okay, it's from this study, participants, asthma with and female. And I can save the dataset ID. You'll see, okay, check, saved as HCH, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm able to go to the API tab here, scroll down to the dataset ID management section and see my cohort that I had just created. So these are all my asthma participants, female asthma participants in this study. Created today, this is the ID. If now I want to export or download this participant level data, I can copy the query ID for further analysis, for example, in Seven Bridges or Terra. I can also view what was associated with this query ID. So these are the filters that I've applied, and these are the variables that are included in the data set. And then let's say I am generating a lot of different data set IDs, and this one is old and it's not necessary anymore. It's confusing me. I can archive it. That will just remove it from my view. So you don't have to worry about having many data sets ID and managing multiple. So that is an overview of our view dataset ID saving functionality in Picture. Are there any questions?
There are no questions in the chat right now. So we will wrap it up there. But thank you so much, Simran, for your work with Picture. And for those of you who haven't worked with Picture yet or seen it, there is an open version of Picture as well. I've put the link in the chat, so you don't need to be an authorized user or log in if you want to take Picture for a spin. But you will need to be logged in, if I'm correct, to be able to save cohorts and ID.
Yes.